Hello everyone, welcome to my first episode of Story Time, as I'm calling it. Sorry I'm fiddling with stuff. This first episode was originally going to be called Girlfriend Hunting, but that name sounded a little bit inappropriate and also a bit too desperate. So to make me not sound desperate at all, I've actually changed it, mixed it up with the fourth episode I was doing, which was going to be relationships. So I've combined them both. Calling this one Girlfriend and Relationship. So basically what that means is, sorry, here's a bit of mess guys, I apologize, but yeah, that basically means is bloody hell, I'll go through the relationships I've had between 2009 up to 2019, my last relationship. So I've been single for about 2 years now. I'll go through, talk about people I've liked before, what I've done to try and impress them and whatever, make them happy, but where I messed up and failed. And how I coped with each breakup and how each one ended, how long each one lasted. How I coped with them breaking up with me and how they coped with me breaking up with some of them. And yeah, but yeah, after this episode guys, join me next Thursday for episode 2, which will be about my confidence issues, but that's next week. But if you watch that next week, that would mean a lot. But anyway, let's get into it. So I'm going to talk about my first relationship, which was way back in 2009 when I was age 13. Now this girl I first met, she lived next door to my uncle, and then we went to stay at hers one night next door and we did hit it off. It was starting off all good, but it turns out she was actually dating someone else. So, you know, yeah, that is what it is. But at one point she was single, so we thought we'd give it a try, like a proper try. I think that's what happened anyway. It's been so long now. What happened was, how it properly ended though, we gave it a proper try. My cousin came into like the town area with us. I started complaining like and moaning, and I don't know why. I'll be honest, it's probably because I didn't get on with that particular cousin at the time. Then when we went back to my uncle's, because I didn't live in that town, I was living in the middle of nowhere at that point, and we went back, I completely lost my temper, scared everyone, even her, to the point where we weren't together anymore. And that's how it ended. Like, I was throwing chairs and all sorts, I was going mad. I couldn't, my anger was really bad back then. Don't know how, but at that point my mum had never seen my anger that bad. But when she broke up with me and I was doing a lot of complaining, I made myself look like a proper idiot, proper numpty, and that's how that relationship ended, which was kind of heartbreaking, I won't lie. But I should have kept my cool. Like, I should have kept myself calm, and you know, things wouldn't have gone south. I should just let, you know, allowed me cousin slide. There's a bit of blood on my shirt guys. I've recently cut my finger. I'll sort that out soon. But anyway, moving on to my relationship, which was in the following year in 2010. This was my longest going relationship to date. Okay, just a reminder guys, I'm not saying any of their names, because I'm not calling them out or anything like that. Whether they were in the wrong, whether I'm in the wrong, it doesn't matter who was in the wrong. I'm not saying anybody's names on this video. People who do know me though know who people I'm talking about, but again, don't ask me who. This one I'm about to talk about, my friend went out with as well. Sorry guys, this I met her on through Facebook. We got talking. We met up a few times, and it was really going well. Like I said, it lasted a good 6 months. And none of my relationships have gone past 6 months. Like I've never hit the year mark with any of them. But this was my longest, and it was really going swimmingly, like really good. And then they got this is the first time I had intercourse and lost my virginity. I was only 14 years old. And I couldn't believe it. My mum and dad didn't know at the time, but my dad tricked me by saying, oh, she's pregnant, whatever, in the hospital, where the point I admitted it, but it turned out she wasn't in the hospital. But don't worry, he apologised for all that. He knew there was something going on. He just had to be sure. But yeah, that was the first time that happened as well. But it got to the point, come December of that year, I was finding things out from friends and other people. I was losing family, friends, all that, to the point where I just had to just get rid of her, you know. It hurt me at the time, I won't lie. It did hurt me, but I was doing what was best for me at the time. She was asking for me back. I kept saying no. She get other people to, I told them no. There was a point where she eventually gave up and moved on, which was good for both of us in the long run. But yeah, it was just a longest relationship. I found out some things. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say what things on here, but I found out some things. So for the first time in my life, I ended a relationship. I had to, because I thought it was best for me. Then about again a year later. Sorry, my voice is going. We moved from the middle of nowhere, which we used to live in this little village nearby, to an estate near my hometown. And I met a girl here. We started dating for a few days, and it turns out my mate who got kicked out of that school I was in first year, year 7, he was kicked out. I found out he was living here, and we started talking again. He didn't know whereabouts in the estate I was living at the time. So what was with this girl, what happened was, I was waiting outside for him because he wanted me to wait outside to find out which house I was actually living at. For some reason I didn't know the street name at the time, but yeah, I stood outside waiting for him, and I got a message from the girl I was dating at this time in 2011. She said something about me stalking her, and then she ended it. I was confused. I tried to explain I wasn't stalking her, but she thought I was, but I really wasn't. I was waiting outside the door for my mate. It's because she lived around the corner somewhere. I don't know if she still lives there now. It's been years. It's 2011 I dated her, so that didn't end too well. So that was one of the quickest relationships I had at that point. Is what it is. 2012, when I was 16, I didn't really date anyone. A lot went on, but I was single for that entire year, believe it or not. I left school that year. My second sister was born in that year. I started college in that year, and yeah, that was about it. 2012, I didn't really date anyone, to be fair. But following year 2013, during my college days, I only lasted at college for a couple of years. Because I was on and off with them. I was actually supposed to be there 3 years, but hey ho, that's not the topic here. During my college days there, my friend was there. He was dating this girl at the time, and he got me with her friend. I started dating her friend. This was my second longest relationship, and this one was actually started out great. She came to my house, met my parents. My parents liked her at that point. I liked her parents. Her parents are great, and they've been there for me ever since I broke up with her. But I'll explain what happened there. it was like 4 to 5 months this one lasted. At one point she wanted me to meet her auntie and uncle to go for a day out and that. I thought, yeah, that sounds great, you know. But around about the same time I was in some kind of argument with my mum and dad, and they didn't let me go, which obviously as a 17-year-old that upset me and put me in a grump. So yeah, I was actually fond of what happened there, but I was really arguing with my parents at that point, and then my girlfriend was there living with me at the time. I think she was living with me. At one point she said, oh, do you want to see my auntie and uncle tonight? We'll get out of here, we'll run off or whatever. So basically I agreed and said, yeah, let's do it. So basically I ran away. I thought we were going like to another town, which was a few minutes up the road. Now it turns out we actually were in a totally different county altogether. I was there for a few days, few weeks, I can't remember how long it was, but yeah, losing my breath, sorry. But yeah, I was there for a few days or so, refusing to go home. I didn't want to go home. I wanted to stay, make a new life there, and as a stubborn 17-year-old I was at the time, I was willing to stay there with her. And this is the only second time I have sexual relations with a girl as well, and that was the last time it happened as well. But yeah, at one point they find out my cousin lives nearby. Sorry about the dog barking, guys. So there was, my mum and dad said they were coming up. They were scared of things my mum and dad were saying. So when they found out how far nearby my cousin lived, they dropped me off there. My mum and dad made my girlfriend at the time an offer to come back with us. She refused. I did go back eventually after staying at my cousin's for about 2 or 3 days, who lived up that way, and my mum and dad came to collect me. I eventually said yes, I'll come back home, because it was just the right decision, you know. So yeah, I came back home. I begged her to come back, but instead she just dumped me. And this was the one girl I was really in love with, like really in love with her at the time. It really broke me. I was crying for days. I was even trying to get back with her at one point. I was trying to say, oh, I went to the police and said, oh, I shouldn't be back home, whatever, but she just didn't want anything to do with me. Mainly because I chose to come back to my hometown. Yeah, she eventually decided to date someone from here, because I fallen out with me and him. But hey, as far as I'm aware, she's got kids and that now. But yeah, that breakup really hurt me the most out of all of them. So it was my second longest, yeah. But this one I truly fell for her, and I thought we were gonna have like kids of our own and that, and nah. Disclaimer, I've got no kids of my own, but I've got a little sister. But yeah, that was the most heartbreaking breakup of my life. It really broke me down, really hurt me. There was a few girls I did like in school. One of them came to my 21st. Really wanted to be with her, but obviously that went nowhere. Again, I'm not saying her name. But yeah, that went nowhere. So yeah, but there was other girls I liked in school. I'd hear ages saying who, but yeah. Moving on now. 2014, single, but I had a great 18th birthday party that year. Great. 2015, single. 2016, single, but not for long. 2017, I did date someone at the time. My mate at this point was dating a lass from 2014 at this point onwards, and her cousin, who turned out to have gone to my school, I ended up dating her that night. Decided to go out. They got us together, but again, that she just finished me out of the blue. I was on my way down to my mate's. She was living there at the time because she had nowhere to go. And just out of the blue, I get a message on my way down on the bus saying, oh, I don't think it's working out. And I'm thinking, why? You know, because I've been, to be fair, and I've known her for ages at this point. Like I was in the year above her at school, and I was thinking, why does she think it's not working out? Like, why does she think this? But yeah, it was really heartbreaking again. When I arrived at my mate's and I showed him a message, I like walked into another room, spoke to him, and he knew deep down that it was going to go wrong. But he didn't say that to me because he didn't want to upset me or whatever. But he knew deep down it wasn't going to work out. And I respected him for that. Like, I think he should have just told me, to be honest, but he didn't tell me. He didn't want to cause anything. And days before this, I argued with my own mate for her because they were doing this and that, and I was arguing with them, my mate and his missus at the time, and it was just going all sorts of crazy. And I agree with things they were saying or doing to her at the time. Not doing, what I mean by that is, like, I thought they were being controlling, but in reality they were just keeping her safe. But I didn't know this, so I was just trying to stick up for her because I didn't want to lose her. But it was all for nothing, really, you know what I mean? So quite frankly, I wasted my time, you know, even defending her. Like, I'm thinking, why did I even do that? But yeah, it turns out she didn't even like me, and then she was still living at my mate's, and she was dating other lads here and there. Shockingly enough, I'm actually still friends with her. We still do talk. And deep down, when I was in school with her, she was totally different. Like, she was a nice lass. She only wanted one boyfriend that didn't hurt her, but see, at that point she was messed around too much, and something inside her changed, I think. That's what I'm going with. Just a quick reminder one more time, guys. Again, I'm not saying anybody's names, just for their personal things. And yeah, she's got a kid now and all that, but yeah, that is what it is. Moving on to 2018, where I was just single, straight up single. And my mate at that point moved to his hometown with his missus, and he's been there ever since. It is what it is. Yeah, that also happened. But yeah, moving on to 2019, where I actually met a girl for the first time on a dating app. Like, at this point, I just wanted to be with someone, so I downloaded these dating apps. I've downloaded Tinder, Badoo, Plenty of Fish. I'm even now on this Facebook dating that just came out of nowhere. But yeah, I met this girl on Tinder. She's like an hour and a half away from me, and it was going really well. It turns out I was already friends with her friend, if that makes sense, from a course I did for 12 weeks. I met her friend from there, and then the year after I matched with her friend on Tinder, and it was going alright for a few weeks, and I thought I was going to go somewhere because I told my mum I was dating her. And then again, she didn't think it was going to work out, so she just ended it. I tried to keep, at this point, I thought I tried to keep my calm. So what I did is, my sister was having a party at this point, so instead of ruining our party, I went out for a little walk to the shops and back, which is only 3 or 4 minutes to walk to the shops. But yeah, it was heartbreaking, but I try to keep my cool. A few days later, I break the news to my mum because she thought I was still with her, but yeah. But I'm still cool with her, she's still cool with me, you know, there's no bad blood. So yeah, it wasn't meant to be. Yeah, it wasn't meant to be, guys, so I just had to move on. And then obviously the year after 2020 hit. This point I didn't date anyone, but I did like someone I met through this social media app called TikTok, which I signed up for in August 2019 because my mate was on it a few months prior to that. Which he's actually quite good at TikTok, I won't lie. I've been on it since August 2019, coming up 2 years now. Around about during the pandemic era, I eventually hit my 1K mark, so I could go live on TikTok, and I went live on TikTok with my mate. I met this girl on here and a few others. She did like me, the key word there. But I was always making her feel uncomfortable, making her feel like she wasn't wanted. And I'm thinking, why am I doing that? You know, this is not like me. I did try everything, you know, to make her happy as much as I can. I tried to get her to show that I wasn't the type of lad I am. I'll be honest, guys, the guy you see on social media isn't the real me. I do have confidence issues, which I'll be talking about in the next story time next Thursday. But yeah, I got to a point where I felt I didn't blank her, I just left the group chat I was in, and like I bought a Christmas present and that, hoping it'd go somewhere, but I messed with her feelings and that, and I won't go into too much detail. I won't even mention her name, out of respect again. But yeah, it was just a really bad experience. You know, she was in a many-year relationship, like 10 years or something, where she had 2 kids with this lad and she was cheated on. So the fact she was feeling unwanted and I wanted to be around other girls was understandable, and I messed up big time. Like, that's all I'm gonna say on that issue right there. And then most recently there was another girl I did like. We were having like a Snapchat conversation, and she's a really good looking lass, like really good looking. I was surprised that a lass like her, a girl like her, sorry, wanted to even speak to me and like me or whatever, but she did. But at that point, there was another girl on my Snapchat constantly asking me for money. I removed her. I put on my Snapchat story saying, "You keep asking me for money," removed her, whatever. I mentioned the word girl in it. She messaged me back on Snapchat saying, "Oh, you talk to other girls then?" And I was like, I was confused and all that. I was trying to explain stuff to her, and yeah, she has stopped talking to me since. I don't know if things there are going to continue or whatever. I did have a girlfriend this year, but again, I ended it because my mate found out she was lying to me, and he told me, and she admitted the lies, so I finished her, basically. So yeah, I forgot to mention her about that relationship I want to forget about. Yeah, I'm currently talking to a few girls on this dating app. I want to keep my options open going forward because I just want to find the right one, you know, who likes me for who I am, how I cope through life, what I do. You know, I do have female friends that I've never had feelings for in my life. So, you know, there's a lot of girls I don't fancy that are just my friend, like girls and boys, lads and lasses, men and women, they all can be friends. I literally don't have people who think anything more or anything less need their heads screwing on, in my opinion, if you ask me. But yeah, I am friends with a few girls. It doesn't mean I fancy them, just so I make that perfectly clear. But yeah, I still got this other lass on Snapchat I just mentioned. She might pop up again in a few weeks or so, I don't know. I'm giving my hopes up. But at the end of the day, I am a complicated guy. So sometimes my jealousy can get the best of me. Sometimes doing silly stuff can, and I just want to find someone eventually. I'm 25 years old now, and I still have no kids. Like, I've had a relationship long enough to have kids, and at this point, in 5 years, I'm gonna be 30 years old, and I'm hoping I'm finding the one sooner rather than later. And heck, guys, if I think I have found the one, I think I have found somebody. That might be another story time for another day. I'll even like update you on this current situation, you know what I mean? Like, I will tell you, it's like, I say, guys, look, I have found the one. But at this point, I haven't found the one. See, between 2009 to 2019, I've had relationships, and from 2009 up to now, I've had relationships, and I've also liked people. But again, it's gone nowhere. So hopefully going forward, my life will look up from here. Girlfriend wise, I do want one, don't get me wrong. I know there's some people out there that say, oh, you're better off single, but that's their personal preference. If they want to stay single, that's up to them, and I respect that. But me personally, I don't want to be single. I'm not asking for making this video for a date or out like that. I've got the dating apps. I've got Facebook dating, Tinder, Badoo, Plenty of Fish, and a few others. So yeah, I hope you guys. But yeah, like I said, I'm not looking for a date here. I was just making this video because it's my first story time based video, and I'm hoping you guys like it. Speaking of, I hope you guys have enjoyed listening to me rant on about a part of my personal life, about relationships I've been, girlfriends I've had, people I've fancied or liked or whatever. I'm hoping this video does well. Remember to give it a like. If not, give it a dislike. Say where I can improve, and for next Thursday, then I'll try and make that improvement. Maybe more if there is need to be more. Yeah, like or dislike. If it's a dislike, tell me why in the comments, guys. But yeah, also leave a comment in this comment section below if you've ever been through what I've been through. If you had any of these situations apply to you, talk to me in the comments, let me know. I'm happy to reply back. I'll try, if there is loads of comments, I'll try and reply back to as many of them as I can. Alright, I want to thank you all for watching. If you're looking forward to next Thursday's episode, remember to subscribe, turn on notifications, and yeah, I will be back next week with episode 2 of my story time, which is about my confidence issues I've had over the years. It might be a longer video, might be a shorter video, I don't know yet. But again, thank you for watching, guys. Stay safe, have fun out there, make the most of life, and whatever you want, you go after it, because we only got one life to live, guys. Thank you so much. Speak soon. See you in the next episode of Storytime. I'm out.